Hey Zombie Scholars, it's Brian. I just want to take a moment and check in. I'm going to do these short recordings to let us know where we stand on things. Let's call them Lain's logs. They'll be brief. Let me get right into it. I've got 4 things I wanted to talk about. The first is to review the discussion posts from Module 1. Let me start off by saying great job on the discussion post. Really appreciate everybody's hard work and dedication. A lot of great discussions going on. Really appreciate the work that you all are doing in all of the different groups that we have going for things. 2 points on that though. The first is remember to use the readings. The readings are there to help you make your point, especially when you read the prompt. Even though you've watched the movie or the TV show, you might think, wow, this is really tough. That's because the readings are supposed to help you out. Second, there are also a group of lectures, mini lectures that I've put together to help facilitate the discussion on the topic. You want to make sure that you're watching those as well. Most people are, but I know some people are missing those. They're always under the presentations tab inside the modules, and there's helpful information that will make the discussions much easier. Once you've done that, when you make your discussion post, remember to cite the people that you're talking about. Many of you made the same points, almost word for word, as some of the readings. You want to do the work to say this was part of Tony Williams' argument or something like that. Now, the discussion posts themselves, fantastic job. Lots of great points that are going on. Some major points rose to the top. Several people commented on the location and coloniality going on in White Zombie and some of those earlier movies by that time. Although remember, according to Tony Williams, and you saw it, there's no actual dialogue in White Zombie that mentions Haiti at all. In fact, as far as the storyline goes, it could very well have taken place at a European castle, but it didn't, of course. It definitely took place, and it's got this one line of setting that places the film at the very beginning and says that it happens in a remote location in Haiti, and that makes all of the difference in the world, doesn't it? The second thing in the discussion post is several people had great points to make about the race and gender of the zombie as a figure, and the readings go a long way with that, but remember, it's a little bit complicated. It's not just black and white. Gillian Phillips makes it a little bit more nuanced and says there are also mixed race elements in these films. And she comments on the figure of the Creole. I mean, think about the figure of Legendre. What's his race? What's going on with that particular figure? Think about those and try and make it even more complicated for things. Now, based on our first module, we want to always try and get some sort of takeaway from what we are looking at. And that's my second big thing in this log. What is our takeaway? Well, our takeaway, you know by now, is that the zombie as a figure is always raced. It's always gendered. It always has a nationality, as we talked about with coloniality and location in Haiti. Those things, they're not going to go away. I know a bunch of you in the discussion post, you said, this zombie is very different from what I'm used to. It's different from Romero. It's different from World War Z, whatever. That's fine. It looks different. Its makeup is different. They're not even dead in these movies. They are made to be zombies before they died. There's no infection, etc., etc. We could go on. The question for us is the rhetorical function similar in these zombies? And it's not going to be easy for that zombie to escape the idea of race, the idea of gender, and these ideas of nationality. They are likely going to plague the figure even as it moves forward for things. The third thing I want to discuss in this blog is the What is a Zombie blog post. It's coming up. You've had plenty of time to do it. Actually, we already had a reading on it in Module 1. Don't let this thing drag out. You could already be having it done and move on to Module 2. You've already had basically a 3-day extension. It's not due until Wednesday, but there's no reason you couldn't go ahead and knock it out. We'll accept a variety of formats. By now, you really can answer the question in your own opinion, what is a zombie, and support your answer with films, readings, evidence that we can use to build some sort of a case for things. That's all that we're asking for. Don't let it drag on too long. Go ahead and move forward. Fourth thing, the last thing that I want to do is give you a preview of what's going up in the second module. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we turn to a classic figure of zombie cinema. We're going to explore the work of George Romero, the icon of the zombie figure in film. After this period of the 30s and the 40s, as we saw in Plan 9 from Outer Space, the zombie becomes left out. It's not included as much. Romero is the one who brings the zombie back to life. See what I did there? He's somebody that makes it a much more salient figure. It's the emergence of the modern zombie as we understand it. One thing, be careful of remakes when we're looking at Romero's work. Night of the Living Dead, it's iconic. It's part of the National Film Registry. His other films, Dawn, Day, Night, Land, these films have been remade. So be careful that we're watching the original. Zack Snyder has had a remake in there. Romero himself even reshot portions of his own trilogy, and he added on to the trilogy later. Let's try and keep it to the original work. That's going to be the thing what we're doing, because we are trying to attach the work itself from Romero to the time period that it is in. Now, in the first module, the optional reading was about the rhetorical situation. I'm going to push it even further in this discussion post and ask you to do more work to connect these films to things that are going on at the time that they are being made. You're going to find a very, very interesting connection. Now, I know that many of you wrote and said, look, these Haitian zombies, this is very different. This is not what I was expecting. It's figures like Romero. That's the zombie that I understand. Okay, fair enough. Got a challenge for you in Module 2 then. Do this with me. Count the number of times you hear the word zombie in Night of the Living Dead. Hey, in any of Romero's films. Count how many times that word is used. Because we just came out of the 30s and the 40s where the title of the film references zombie. Let's see how much Romero uses it. All right? Well, with that, I'll say happy hunting in Module 2. Go get 'em, zombie killers.